So I am lying, reclining in my brand new Ultralight Hammock from IAT Thru-Hike. So there it is. That is my new ultralight hammock that I had made for my thru-hike of the Appalachian Trail in 2021. I'm gonna be starting the trail around mid-February, and I wish there was such a thing as whole division, perhaps. This thing is crazy light certainly compared to the hammock that I've taken on my previous section hikes of the AT. Now, you see it in its stuff sack. I have purposely resisted the urge to open this until now. I'm going to video me opening this and stringing it up for the very first time and seeing what's inside this stuff sack for the very first time on camera. I gotta tell you, I'm a little nervous. So I totally trust the company that has made this hammock for me, simply because I've used and they have made hammocks for me in the past, and they're always fantastic. They're always wonderful. But this is something very, very new for me. So let's say we string it up. So while I'm stringing up this new hammock, let's talk briefly about the hammock that I've been using on my previous section hikes of the Appalachian Trail. Here is the hammock that I've been using for the past 4 years. Now this lime green and black beauty is an 11-foot double layer gathered in hammock from Randy at Dream Hammocks. I sleep in this hammock every night, whether I'm at home, on the road, or in the woods. The key to this hammock is the width. It's extra wide so that I can get a more diagonal lay, thus a flatter lay, and there is zero calf ridge in this hammock. This hammock weighs in at 28.95 ounces or 821 grams. That's only 3 ounces shy of 2 pounds. So what about the new hammock? Well, let's start with the fabric, which is one of the keys as to why this hammock is just so ultra light. I was sitting around the campfire talking with some friends at a group hang in the Sipsey. As I'm discussing my plans for a thru-hike and my desire to lighten my load in all areas, including the hammock, a fellow by the name of John Garibaldi, Cajun racer to the hammock community, mentioned monolight. Intrigued, we talked further. He mentioned a couple of cottage vendors making hammocks with monolight and put me in contact with one, but then left me to research monolight for myself. In doing my research, I came across a video of my old friend Randy at Dream Hammocks load testing the monolight. This information was enough to sell me both on the fabric and on having Papa Smurf make another hammock for me. The new hammock is an 11-foot gathered-in single-layer hammock made from 1.0 monolight. The big difference from my everyday hammock to this one is obviously the weight, but also the character of the fabric. The monolight has a lot more stretch to it, so I'm going to have to hang it slightly higher just to allow for ease of entry and egress from the hammock. Monolight is constructed with a unique monofilament yarn and mesh weave, giving the fabric a much higher than normal strength to weight ratio over materials of similar weights. This hammock features continuous loops on both ends with a red bead marking the hammock's head end, a red ridgeline of zinget, a fully removable bug net that can be stored in a peak bag at the hammock's foot end, a peak shelf for storage, then this is a perfect spot to hold a headlamp or a beanie while sleeping. All in, this hammock weighs in at 16.35 ounces or 463 grams. That's almost half the weight of my standard hammock. I'm reducing my pack weight by nearly a pound with just the hammock. Now, as with all things ultralight, more care will be needed to reduce damage to the hammock. Now, I'll need to inspect it more closely before and after use just to address any issues quickly. And I'm carrying a diverse set of Gear Aid tenacious tape patches for this and any other repair needs that I might have while on the trail. It probably goes without saying that I really like this hammock. Yes, it's lighter than my other hammocks, but it is still very, very comfortable. Randy at Dream Hammocks knows how to build a quality product that functions beautifully. He was asked to make this hammock as wide as possible, which is a function of the bolt size of the fabric being used. In this case, we wound up with a hammock almost 60 inches in width. Here again, this allows me to get a more diagonal lay in the hammock and thus a flatter lay. You know, all this talk about weight got me thinking about another aspect of my choice for the hammock. In long distance hiking circles, there's often a debate of hammocks versus tents. For me, the ultimate choice of a hammock was all about comfort and sleep quality, not to mention the benefits that I derive physically. My back is in far better condition when I sleep in a hammock as opposed to sleeping in a tent. So how does my ultralight hammock choice compare to ultralight tents on the market at this time? A survey of the 10 most popular ultralight tents on the market in 2020 yielded weights ranging from as little as a pound to 2¼ pounds. Now, I felt that I should include my ultralight tarp in this comparison. If I use the hammock by itself, it's certainly going to fall in the lightest category in tent comparisons. My not using the tarp is really rare, so I'm going to include it. Now with the hammock at 16.35 and the tarp at 11.45, we'll call it a pound and 12 ounces. I fall squarely in the middle of the comparisons of the 10 most popular ultralight tents currently on the market. Not bad for a full shelter setup and a significant reduction of 1 pound 5 ounces from my total base pack weight. So there you have it, my choice in an ultralight hammock for my Appalachian Trail Thru-Hike next year. So what do you think of my choice? Be sure and leave a comment below, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to click the bell notification so you can be alerted when new content has been uploaded. I really appreciate you guys checking out my channel of Hiking a Different Path, and until next week, take a hike and love somebody along the way.